Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really difficult subject, something that's been front and center globally.
Yeah, the crash of Air India Flight 171, just devastating.
Absolutely. It happened so fast, so close to takeoff. The impact is still being felt, and we want to help make sense of it all. So our mission here is to cut through the noise, give you the clear facts as we know them right now.
Look at the human side, the tragedy of it all.
Exactly. And then unpack the investigation. What clues are emerging? What are the ripple effects?
Basically a concise, deep look to get you up to speed on a complex unfolding story.
Let's dive in. What do you think? The basics of the flight itself.
Okay, so Gatwick LGW.
2-3, and the date was
then,
June 12th, 2025.
Things go wrong
Took off at
incredibly quickly.
13.38
Almost
local
immediately.
time,
We're talking
Indian
less than
Standard
30
Time.
seconds
That's
after lifting off.
That's
08.08
terrifyingly
UTC.
fast.
It is.
And critically,
the pilots
the
issued a
conditions were
mayday
good.
call.
Yeah,
That
that's
much we
important.
know.
Calm
And the
weather,
plane
good
just
visibility. So, we
didn't
can
climb
likely rule
properly.
out weather
Exactly.
as a primary
It
cause
seems it
right
never
off the
got
bat.
above
Okay, so it takes
roughly
off from runway
600 feet,
23.
which is
And then
barely off the ground in aviation terms.
Things go
600 feet,
wrong
wow.
incredibly
And the tracking
quickly.
data.
Almost
The
immediately.
ADS-B
We're talking less than
transmissions,
30
which
seconds
broadcast
after
the
lifting
plane's
off.
position
That's
and altitude, they
terrifyingly
just stopped
fast.
a
It
moments
is.
later.
The
Indicating-
pilots issued a mayday call. That
Yeah.
much we know.
And the plane just didn't climb properly.
Exactly. It seems it never got above roughly 600 feet, which is, barely off the ground in aviation terms.
600 feet, wow. And the tracking data.
The ADS-B transmissions, which broadcast the plane's position and altitude, they just stopped moments later.
Indicating a rapid descent, presumably.
That's the implication. And then the crash itself.
Into the BJ Medical College hospital block.
Yeah.
Right there, beyond the airport tower.
Yes. And the descriptions, the videos, they show multiple fireballs, thick black smoke. The plane broke apart completely on impact. Out of
2-3.
242.
And then one survivor out of 242.
Things go
Incredible.
wrong
And the ground
incredibly
casualties.
quickly.
Almost immediately.
That's
We're
the other
talking
part of
less
this
than 30
tragedy.
seconds
Yeah.
after
At
lifting
least
off.
that's
28
terrifyingly
confirmed
fast.
fatalities
It is.
on the
The
ground
pilots
in the
issued a
hostel.
mayday call.
And dozens
that
injured
much we
there, too.
know.
Yes,
And the
dozens
plane just
injured, many seriously.
Didn't climb
We know
properly.
over 50
Exactly.
medical
It seems it
students
never
were
got above
hospitalized. A lot of young
roughly
doctors lived in
600
that
feet,
hostel.
which
It
is,
hit that community
barely off the ground in
particularly hard.
aviation terms.
Such a
600 feet,
specific,
wow.
terrible impact.
And the tracking
And,
data.
beyond the
The
numbers, there were
ADS-B
prominent
transmissions,
individuals
which
on board as
broadcast
well.
the
That's
plane's
right.
position and
Former
altitude, they
Gujarat
just
Chief
stopped
Minister
moments
Vijay
later.
Rupani was among those lost,
Okay.
and a significant number of foreign nationals too, including 53 British citizens.
Which obviously complicates things like identification and repatriation. That must be a huge ongoing effort.
Absolutely. DNA matching, working with families both in India and abroad,
Mhm.
it's a painstaking process.
And amidst all this loss, you mentioned the sole survivor from the aircraft. An extraordinary story, truly extraordinary. His name is Vishwash Kumar Ramesh. He was in seat 11A.
11A. How on earth did he survive?
Well, it seems his seat was right next to an overwhelming emergency. During the crash sequence, that whole exit section apparently tore away from the main fuselage.
Wow.
He fell with that section.
Asking is,
Mhm.
and
Why?
then what could have possibly caused
Things
this?
go
The
wrong
investigation moves
incredibly
right?
quickly.
What are the
Almost
first
immediately. We're
major
talking less
clues?
than
The
30
single
seconds
biggest
after lifting
early
off.
That's
clue, the one that really
terrifyingly
changes
fast.
the
It
direction
is.
of the
The pilots
investigation is
issued
the
a
ram
mayday
air
call.
turbine.
That
Yeah.
much we
The
know.
RAT.
And the plane
The RAT
just
was found deployed at the crash
didn't
site.
climb properly. Explain
Exactly.
why that's so
It
significant
seems it
for
never
us.
got
Okay,
above
so the RAT
roughly
is
600
basically a
feet,
small
which is,
propeller, like a windmill,
barely off the ground
that
in
drops out
aviation
from the
terms.
belly of the
600
plane.
feet, wow.
It's an emergency
And the
device.
tracking data.
Its
The
only
ADS-B
job
transmissions,
is to provide
which
essential
broadcast the
hydraulic
plane's
and
position and
electrical
altitude.
power
They just stop
if
them moments
and
later.
only
Indicating-
if both engines completely fail
Both engines.
simultaneously.
It deploys automatically in that specific scenario. Total loss of engine power.
So finding it
Q3.
deployed strongly
then
suggests a dual-engine failure happened
Things
almost
go
immediately
wrong
after takeoff.
incredibly
That's
quickly.
the primary
Almost immediately.
theory
We're
right
talking
Yes.
less than
now.
30
A
seconds
catastrophic
after
loss of
lifting
power
off.
from
That's
both engines.
terrifyingly
Which is just
fast.
It is. The
incredibly
pilots
rare
issued
for
a
modern
mayday
jet like
call.
787,
That much we
isn't it?
know. Especially a
plane just
twin-engine plane.
Extremely
Didn't
rare.
climb
These planes are
properly.
built with
Exactly.
multiple
It
layers
seems
of
it never got
redundancy
above
precisely to
roughly
prevent
600 feet.
Two
Which
independent
is,
engines,
barely off
separate
the
fuel
ground in
lines,
aviation
separate control
terms.
600
systems
feet,
for
wow.
both to fail at
And
the
the tracking
exact
data.
same
The
time,
ADS-B
moments after
transmissions,
takeoff.
which broadcast
That's
the
highly
plane's
unusual.
position and
Okay, so
altitude,
if
they just
dual-engine
stopped
failure
moments
is the
later.
leading theory,
Indicating-
what could cause that?
The engines were GE GS11B, right?
Correct. GEGX-1B engines. Investigators are looking at several possibilities.
Such as?
Well, fuel is always a suspect. Was there contamination? Bad quality fuel affecting both engines.
Okay, what else?
Bird ingestion is another possibility. Though hitting birds in both engines simultaneously right at rotation would be, again, very unlikely, but possible.
Right.
Then you get into more complex things. Software glitches. Could a software issue have somehow commanded both engines to shut down? Or something called a common mode failure?
Right. You mentioned that.
Sure. It means a single root cause affecting systems that are supposed to be independent. So maybe a shared electrical component failed, cutting power to both engines.
Haven't there about India's aviation regulator, the DGCA, previously flagging issues with Air India's maintenance, parts shortages, things like that.
And then
is that playing into this investigation?
things go
It's certainly part
wrong
of the context.
incredibly
The
quickly.
DGCA
Almost
did
immediately.
note
We're
some
talking
issues,
less than 30
mostly
seconds
related
after
to
lifting
paperwork
off.
and
That's
parts
terrifyingly
logistics across
fast.
Air
It is.
India's
The pilots
Dreamliner
issued a
fleet
mayday
in the
call.
past.
That
Yeah.
much we
So
know.
checks and the plane just
Yes, inspections were carried out
didn't
across
climb
all
properly.
33
Exactly.
of Air
It seems it
India's
never got above
787s following
roughly
those earlier
600
flags. And
feet,
it's really important
which
to
is,
stress
you know,
this.
barely off the ground.
While they
in
found some
aviation terms.
documentation
600 feet,
gaps,
wow.
officials
And
stated
the
that
tracking
no
data.
systemic
The ADS-B
airworthiness
transmissions,
issues
which broadcast
directly
the
linked
plane's
to this
position
crash
and altitude,
scenario
they just
have
stopped
been
them moments
identified
later.
so far
Indicating-
from that previous scrutiny.
So no direct link established yet between past maintenance flags and this specific catastrophic failure.
Not yet. But you can be sure investigators are looking very closely at the maintenance history of this specific aircraft, VTANB. Every check, every part replaced.
Understandable. So we need to be clear. All these potential causes, fuel, birds, software, they're all provisional.
Absolutely. Until the final report comes out, which involves analyzing the flight data recorder, and its return leg, AI-172. That's standard practice out of respect.
Okay, and operationally.
They canceled or rerouted quite a few 787 flights initially, partly due to the fleet inspections ordered, partly, you'd assume, for operational reasons and crew availability while they conducted extra checks.
And the regulators, the DGCA, ordered those fleet-wide checks you mentioned.
Yes, inspections across all 787s operated by Indian carriers.
And international bodies are involved too.
Definitely. The UK's AAIB and the US NTSB and FAA are all assisting Indian airlines with the investigation. It's standard for crashes involving foreign nationals or aircraft manufactured elsewhere.
And what about Boeing? This must put the 787 under scrutiny again.
It inevitably does, especially concerning the electrical systems and the engine control architecture, given the suspected nature of the failure, that potential common mode issue we discussed. Redundancy is key, and this incident raises questions.
Beyond the investigation and operations,
Yes, and the ground teams. The product group that owns Air India stepped up relatively quickly.
what did they
They announced compensation, 1 crore rupees. Is committed to rebuilding the damaged hostile block at their own